So I want to ask you what's become the $1 million question. It's, for me, starting to watch guys, the J.J. McCarthy question, and it's coming up. It seems like, whether there's buzz or there's negativity surrounding McCarthy and where he's at. How do you view McCarthy as a prospect, and do you believe or buy in that teams are actually, falling in love with his traits even beyond what he's done, production-wise, which, is just lead a team to a national championship?
I think first off, we need to fans need to know that this isn't like a rising situation. In August, he was, 15th overall in my top 50. J.J. McCarthy's been a guy that teams have been buzzing about since the summer and what he could be. And when you talk to teams, the first words out of their mouth when you talk about J.J. McCarthy is he's a winner. And I know fans roll their eyes about this, but high school, he was 36-2, state championship. In college, 27-1 at Michigan with a national championship. I understand that, there's a lot of context needed when you use win-loss record with quarterbacks, but teams care. So you know what? It's a relevant stat, and that matters to a lot of teams. And when you factor him as a passer, he's a very loose passer. He works well on the move. He's tough. He's smart. He's accurate, especially in the short to intermediate game. It's just he played in an offense that was built to run the football. And, I don't think that speaks to the lack of trust in J.J. McCarthy. It's just how they built that offense. And you know what? They won a national title. It worked. So I don't think that I would not be deterred by how the Michigan chose to run their offense. Now, do I wish his body of work was more expansive? Absolutely. Yeah. That's the big question. He has 750 dropbacks. It's just, you want more than that to invest in a quarterback top 10. But I think he's going to crush it this week because the interviews, the intangible factor, that's going to really set teams, really, it's going to be easy to let them fall in love with J.J. McCarthy. And so he's going to go somewhere top 12. I really believe that. It's just a matter of, would he go 18 to the Falcons? Does he go 11 to the Vikings, 12 to Broncos? And where do the team feel like he's ready to contribute right away? Or is he a guy that's going to have to sit? And that's going to maybe alter if you're comfortable drafting that early. So the J.J. McCarthy conversation is really fascinating. And, the Giants are sitting there at 6. We know they drafted a quarterback at 6 a couple years ago with some of these questions. And
Giants fans don't want to hear that right now.
I forget I mentioned it. But, I think that it's tough because, you do have the Daniel Jones in the contract looming over all this. You have to do what's right for the quarterback situation. If you're the Giants, you have to do what is best long-term for the position. But if you have a chance to get a true X receiver and maybe just, we'll be fine with Jones for another year and we kind of reset, look at the quarterback market looks like next year, that might be the most likely scenario we're looking at for the Giants.
Well, you mentioned McCarthy, and that all I keep hearing is Daniel Jones is the expected starter in week 1, starter in week 1. So if the Giants like what McCarthy brings to the table, is 6 too rich to bring a guy in and then have him sit behind Jones and then just see how things play out this year? And then next year is the year where if Jones plays well, you can trade him. If he doesn't play well, you're out of the contract, $22 million in dead money, and now it's the McCarthy show. Is that a feasible scenario, or if they're going to take McCarthy, they probably should move back a little bit? How do you see that?
No, if you want J.J. McCarthy, you take him at 6. If you like him enough to draft him, if you believe he's that type of player and has that type of future, you don't play around. You don't get cute. You take him at 6. That's your pick. And, because I do think he's going top 12, like I said. And if you don't take him at 6, we could see a team like the Raiders or the Broncos trade up to 7 or 8 and take him. So, but if you're kind of on the fence about him anyways, then you shouldn't be drafting him at 6. If you're on the fence, if you're not truly in love with him as, okay, this is the guy, he's going to be the one that leads us to division titles and helps us to the playoffs and all that. I really believe that the goal when you draft a quarterback top 10 should not be to find the next Patrick Mahomes. It's just not realistic. Your goal should be to find a quarterback that can be a top 10 to 12 quarterback in the league. Like you're Eli Manning, a top 10 to 12 quarterback in the league. Because once you get in the tournament, once you get in the playoffs, you just need to win one game at a time until you get to the Super Bowl. So if you can find a quarterback that's a top 10 quarterback in the league that's the goal. And if they believe JJ McCarthy's the guy, then you pull the trigger at 6. If you're not convinced, then you go with receiver.